When you hear the term everyday carry or EDC, you might think about those Instagram photo dumps where people hold various trinkets in the palm of their hands. Or a guy carrying so much stuff on him, he's walking around like Batman with his pants full of gadgets. I want you to hear this based on experience of seeing life lived in a third world country, where the American perspective of shit hit the fan is just called everyday life. Most of the things sold to you for this purpose are utterly useless for the average urban American. They're designed to make money off of you by selling you a protective talisman. Stop buying $100 plus kits full of things that you're going to forget about in less than a month. Today, instead of focusing on what's useless for urban EDC, I'm going to go off nearly 3 decades worth of experience and highlight what I think the top 5 absolutely essential urban EDC items are. To start, if you're here, I'm going to assume that you already have a wallet, a knife, and without knowing the details of who you are exactly or what you do for a living, I will say this. For the previously mentioned items, the brands you choose to support are largely a personal decision. Everything has been influenced by marketing. If you like a particular brand or person, then by all means, give them your support. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the first item. Always have spare physical cash on you in an inconvenient carrying case. Never put it in your wallet or make it accessible in your pocket. The temptation to spend it on anything will be there. Not only will it be harder to steal if you keep it someplace that isn't easily accessible, but the likelihood of you going through the motions to retrieve the money in the first place are going to make you question your purchase. The extra effort will hopefully prevent you from making an impulsive decision. I don't care how strong-willed you think you are, most people will justify unnecessary purchases if they have quick access to money. Ideally, you do want it to be a hassle to retrieve, something that you forget about until you need it. I keep $20 in this Delrin pill case from CountyCom, and I see it on my keys and I know it's there, but the fact that I have to unscrew this thing and then pry the bill out means I'm also thinking about this purchase. It doesn't have to be a life or death scenario. Maybe the amount of money in your bank account fell a little bit short and you really need to buy lunch. That's real shit out there for tons of blue-collar folks that are putting their family before their own needs. Sometimes autopay hits when you don't expect it to and you forget. Any small pill case will do, even an empty chapstick tube. Thieves are more likely to leave these items alone because the actual value of the item isn't quickly apparent to them. On the topic of physical cash, you want to make sure that you're carrying spare change. Ideally, quarters, the most used coin out there. Legal tender is legal tender, and every bit of money, at least in the United States, says it's for all debts, public and private. The reason behind coins are twofold. Maybe you have very small essential purchases that you need to make, and your total is $10.24 or something similar, and you only have another $20 bill and you don't want to break it. There are also toll machines and vending machines that suffer damage to the card reader, and coins would be your only other option. Having a reasonable amount of change on hand is a good way to add some extra insurance to the cash that you carry. The third actual useful EDC item that I would include in everyone's pack is an external way to charge your phone. I've been through situations without power before. People that lived through Hurricane Sandy or the Southern California blackout understand that it's not as simple as plugging in your phone into any random outlet out there and hoping for the best. In an emergency where the power goes down, you want your phone to stay powered on so that you can monitor the situation, or it could be as mundane as your phone almost dying and you're stuck on the bus or train. Having an external battery pack is always a good idea and is more useful than a gimmick 550 cord bracelet with a fire starter in the middle of downtown America, 99.99% of the time. I have one that has a solar charging option and a spare LED light also, just in case. The fourth item that's useful to everyone, a good pair of shades. They don't have to be Oakley's, they don't have to be branded, they don't have to be expensive. You can get excellent eye protection at Home Depot for $6 to $12. Let me explain why this is more than just a matter of style. What you can't really avoid sometimes is coming into contact with people who are intent on either taking your stuff or causing you bodily harm. There's a psychological deterrent when it comes to someone who walks confidently and is wearing sunglasses. A good example is General MacArthur. When you compare these two pictures, it almost looks like he's a different person with his iconic aviators on. There's a more authoritative vibe to him. In addition to the signals that you send a potential threat, people who intend to do harm or steal from you also want to make sure that you don't see the attack coming. Wearing sunglasses throws this off completely. Unless you make it blatantly obvious that you are asleep, they're not going to be sure whether or not you're keeping an eye on them. It's a confusing and nicely gray area that you want to stay in. You're not looking like a target, and you're not calling anyone's bluff either. Of course, your overall look is going to determine whether or not you look like a target, but that's a totally separate video. Sunglasses also shield your eyes from the sun, exactly what they were made for. Last but not least, the fifth important thing that you should have on you somewhere are physical copies of important emergency contact numbers. These numbers could be your significant other family members, friends, someone you trust, your secret other family, whatever. This is just in case you don't know these numbers by heart. Not only will you have the numbers to go in case you no longer have your phone, but now if you need a stranger to call for you, you aren't going to leave them with full access to your phone either. If for whatever reason your mobile phone ends up dead, you're going to have to make a landline call. If you're concerned about identity, give them nicknames or use initials. Tailor this to your needs around the city you're in, whether you're traveling, working, or living in it. To sum it up, EDC isn't just about grid down or a red dawn scenario. Mostly it's about getting through the day so that you can come home relatively stress-free at the end of it all, in case anything happens. People tend to forget that real life can be extremely boring and mundane, and that those are exactly the type of situations that we have to plan around. Not every emergency is sexy or dangerous. Sometimes you just need an extra quarter. So I hope this made you think about why you carry what you carry, and that you liked how I presented the information. I'm trying to make a few changes as time allows, so if you want to come along for that journey, hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like, and leave a comment on what you'd like me to discuss more. Knowledge is wasted if knowledge isn't spread. Hard-earned lessons and stories will die with a person if they aren't told. Until the next video, be good, stay safe, and have a good one.